visible to us.
Jason Eppink is a former curator at the Museum of the Moving Image. I'm Kimberly Adams, and that's Marketplace Tech. This is APM.
Wednesday mornings here on KSJE, and joining me for his weekly segment about life in the Sandbox, the one and only noted author, Ron Price, is here in the studio with me this morning. Mr. Price, good morning.
Mr. Michlin, good morning. Always good to be with you, my friend.
Nice to have you here. And so this week we're talking about, and you were telling me these two words that I don't know if I think I'm familiar with them, but they were spelled differently. So obviously I've not heard a lot about these words.
You've probably heard the first word, Pyrrhic Victory. That's one of those, there are concepts in our culture that...
I've cooked with Pyrex. Does that help?
You're so close.
Okay.
But not.
All right. This is...
But there, as I was saying,
tolerating me, yes.
Before I was so comically interrupted,
right.
There are concepts that, you just hear and you have some kind of vague notion what they are, but you never took the time to check them out. Pyrrhic Victory, I propose, as one such item.
Okay.
A Pyrrhic Victory, and it goes back to, Greece, ancient Greece, I think, somewhere before your time and my time.
Right, yeah.
Where somebody won a battle, but at such a cost. What did they win? And again, we don't want to get political, but in our world today, there's a war going on that, one side might win, but end up the big loser.
Sure.
The whole concept.
Right, okay.
So Pyrrhic Victory, you won, but at such a cost, so much collateral damage, whatever you want to call it, that you don't feel like you won anything. And in so many conflicts with coworkers, with family members, with others with whom you interact on a regular basis, you can fight so hard to get your point across, to get your way of doing things, to win. But your ability to work with that person in the future has been so severely damaged. Was it really worth it? Which brings us to the opposite extreme, an Irenic victory. And that's one that I had to look up. I never even knew it existed.
Yeah.
Irenic victory, Scott, is one where you lost. You lost. But you know what? Who cares? You almost won by losing. And again, we can think of episodes in our lives where we let somebody else have their way. We thought we wanted something, but we yielded. We let someone else have their preference. And we were glad about that. So in a sense, we lost. We didn't get our preference.
Right.
But we won in terms of healthier relationships, better ability to work and deal with that person again in the future. So many times in life, we're going to butt heads with others. We just are.
Right.
And we're going to want to push for our way. Our way is, and we can get righteously indignant. Well, of course my way is the right way. To you, I'm sure it is. But that doesn't mean everyone else is going to feel the same way. You push too hard to get your way to win. You might want to learn how to spell Pyrrhic. How did we decide it's spelled anyway?
There were a lot of R's and Y's, I think.
I think it's Phyyrric. Okay. I'm close. If you Google it, Uncle Google will correct us.
Probably.
But
that's
Pyrrhic Victory.
Now go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you were going to come up with a great...
I was just going to say, you won, but you lost. Was it really worth pushing that hard for what you achieved in the end?
Right. And I was going to say, is this another way of saying pick your battles?
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Pick your battles. Not everything is a hill to die on.
Right.
And yet sometimes we can get so caught up in hills that weren't even worth getting sick on.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't resist.
Right.
But seriously, yeah, no, that is a good point. Pick your battles, because we shouldn't win every battle. It's an unhealthy relationship if you're getting your way 100% of the time.
Right.
That to me is an unhealthy relationship.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Very, very true. Because even though you win, you lost.
That's right.
There you go.
Unless it's with your dog, because your dog wants you to win every time.
Well, that's true. And that's why we keep them around.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Ron, thanks so much.
Are we out of time already?
Well, not necessarily. I just thought it sounded like we were wrapping it up.
Well,
Did you
I
have
just
one
wonder,
more
I just
gem?
wonder. No, I just wonder if people will pause and think about times in their past where they pushed so hard to get what they wanted that it cost them. And we ought to offer a prize sometime. I don't know if you do that. We've never talked about that, so I shouldn't be talking about it on the air. But if people come up with a good illustration of a Pyrrhic or Irenic victory,
send it over.
I'll give them, send it to you, and we'll draw a name and send them a copy of my book, Play Nice in Your Sandbox at Work.
There you go.
Might be a nice thing to do.
That would be nice. I like that.
So
send
think
it over.
Irenic, not Pyrrhic.
Right.
New words, but a good way of looking at life.
There you go. And you can always send me an email, everybody, KSJE at sanjuancollege.edu, and we will take a look. So, perfect. Ron Price, thank you for coming in this morning.
You bet. Thank you, Scott.
Good to see you
next week.
See you next week. That is Ron Price. He'll be back next week. Life in the Sandbox here on KSJE Farmington.
In CE 1210, Francis of Assisi had the vehicle by which he could spread his message of sacrifice and salvation.
A Moment in Time with Dan Roberts.
Religious institutions are social organisms. They go through periods of robust, energetic growth and spiritual enthusiasm, then decline into periods of corruption and stasis, when the ideals of the faith dim and require reformation. Having preserved what remained of civilization and order in Western Europe in the centuries following the collapse of the Roman Empire, by the 11th century the Roman Catholic Church was locked in a bitter struggle for preeminence with the newly emerging and secular national states of England, France, and Germany. The focus of this struggle was the authority of the Pope, the Bishop of Rome. It was a struggle the Church would eventually lose, but this decline would take another 3 centuries and culminate in the rending of the unity of Christian Europe in the Protestant Reformation. In the meantime, the Church's attempts to maintain its institutional power were seen by many ordinary believers as distracting and corrupt. In such a time, the Church has often tossed up reformers to call the institution back to its roots and to teach it what it means to be Christian. Such a reformer was Francis of Assisi. Next time, the little poor man. At the University of Richmond School of Professional and Continuing Studies, this is Dan Roberts.
Dan Roberts' new book, Master American History in 1 Minute a Day, a bite-sized romp through 500 years of American history, is available everywhere books are sold. A Moment in Time with Dan Roberts is produced at the University of Richmond with the cooperation of WCVE Public Radio. Our theme music is composed by BJ Liederman. Our sound engineer is Robert Richards. Transcripts, podcasts, audio, and video are available at amomentintime.com.
We've been sharing, promoting, and supporting the art and artists of the Four Corners for more than 20 years. This is KSJE Farmington, public radio from San Juan College, 90.9 FM and 90.9 HD.
Travel is one of life's great rewards, and there's always something new to see and experience when you travel the world like I do. Hi, I'm Rick Steves. Join me as we get better acquainted with the world each week on Travel with Rick Steves. Together, we'll explore fascinating sights, discover amazing food, and make new friends from near and far. Your radio is the only passport you'll need. Join us for Travel with Rick Steves, Saturday afternoons at 1 on KSJE.
The beacon has never been brighter. This is KSJE Farmington, on the air at 90.9 FM and HD, and online at ksje.com.